it's Tempest Lofty, and I'm going to do how to play and my thoughts on Ying and her new buff. Before Ying got her new buff, she was an okay operator, but after her buff, she's insane. Her T95 got upgraded, the damage is a lot more, she got smoke grenades, which is great, and she got an extra Candela. On PC, though, they had to take out one of her Candelas because it was getting out of hand. But on console, her fourth Candela is still there and is still working quite good. Many people are choosing her now because of her buff. Before we hop right into this, let's go over her stats and her weapons. Ying is a 2-speed, 2-armor attacker. She has a primary T95 LSW, which is an LMG. It has 80 ammo and does 46 damage. Her second primary is the 612 shotgun. It has 6 ammo and does 35 damage. She also has breach charges and smoke grenades. And of course, her main ability is her Candelas, which are highly advanced flash grenades. The way that I run Ying, I run the T95 LSW because it has 80 shots and it does 46 damage, it just shreds the competition. I also run breach charges instead of smokes. I do this because I can do a really good hot breach by putting down my Candelas on a soft wall and also blowing it up with a breach charge, which they are not going to be able to see you coming in because you just blinded them with your Candelas. Smoke grenades are good if you are really wanting to be the one planting, because you can just throw down your smoke grenades on the diffuser and just throw all your Candelas out, and boom, they're flash. They can't see you. They don't know where you're planting. It's a very good way to plant. So if you ever want to plant it, I would go for the smoke grenades. Something that I really love about Ying's Candelas is that you can cook them. Other than the other stun grenades, you can cook these grenades. So let's say you cook it for the right amount of time, you throw it in and instantly it just goes off. So that's really good for helping your teammates rotate. Just throw it into a room so they cannot see your teammates. So it's very good for helping them rotate and also push into a room. Or get out of a room if they're in a tight situation, which is super helpful. So she is also a team player, and she can also be a solo player. When I bought Ying, I kind of went in blind, pun not intended. I got to play her a little bit during the invitationals this year, but for the most part, I never really played her. So once I bought her, I was a little perplexed on if she was going to be good or not. But when I started playing many ranked games with her, she is probably one of my favorite operators now, of how good she is. She's definitely she's like 15,000 renown right now, which is super good price for such a great operator. So is she worth the 15,000? Most definitely. I would save up 25,000 for her because of how good she is, especially with her buff. So she is worth it. I recommend you do buy her for the cheap 15,000. Let's go over pros for Ying. Ying, she is a 2-speed operator, 2-armor operator, so she can take a little bit of damage and she's still pretty fast. Her utility is absolutely amazing. Her guns, great. She is a really good attacker, and she can also play passively very well. She can be a solo player, or she could help her team out super well. She's all in all a pretty good operator. Now for cons. Ying, she can be bad in the wrong hands. You need to play a little bit for Ying to get a good feel for her. Because since those flash grenades are 360 degrees, you don't want to flash your teammates. You must make sure that the room is clear, or tell your teammates, hey, I'm flashing in there. Or they're going to be blind just as much as the teammates, and they could die in a situation like that. If they get blinded, but somehow the enemy doesn't get blinded, Now you just put a disadvantage on your teammates, which puts a disadvantage on you. So that is a big con for her. Another thing is that her reload is, of course, since it's an LMG, it is pretty slow. So, but the caveat is that it has 80 rounds, which is just absolutely good. Sometimes you don't even need to reload. You can just clear a room without reloading, which is amazing. My final thoughts on Ying is that she's a really good operator, one of my favorites. And I definitely recommend you purchase this operator if you haven't already. I would rate Ying probably a 8.5 out of 10. The only reason why I'm saying 8.5 out of 10 is because sometimes you can blind your teammates, which will throw everything off. So 8.5 out of 10. That's my final score for her. Finally, the end of the video is here. I'm probably going to start doing videos like this also. We're just reviewing and my thoughts on different operators and how to play them after tens of hundreds of hours of playing them. I might be doing another video next week on this for Alibi after I played her for a little bit. And yeah. So I'm just going to end the video right now.